Before doing any flooring work, it is absolutely necessary to assess the substrate and carry out key duties of inspection, like looking for larger cracks and holes or checking the surface strength and absorbency. Here, we start by checking the surface strength with the grid scratch test. For this purpose, a so-called scriber or scraper tool is used. With the help of this tool, scratch a pattern of parallel lines into the screed surface. After that, place the tool at a 40 to 60 degree angle to the previously produced scratch lines to create a diamond-shaped pattern. If the test produces deep scratches or considerable flaking, this indicates that the surface is of insufficient strength. Further measures of surface treatment must then be taken. Another surface strength test makes use of a wire brush. This method is mainly applied on mineral or calcium sulfate screeds. Here, both the particle amount scratched off the surface and the penetration depth of the wire brush are taken into account. Another important inspection duty concerns the evenness of the substrate. It needs to be checked whether the surface is even enough to receive floor coverings. For this purpose, place a straight edge with spirit level on the floor and determine the two reference points between which the difference in height is to be measured. Now push the measuring wedge as far as it will go under the straight edge. Read the height difference in millimeters on the scale located on the upper side of the wedge. Now proceed by checking the substrate absorbency. Take a bottle of water, pour some water into the cap, and empty it onto the surface. If the water is soaked up in less than 5 minutes, the substrate is highly absorbent. If the process takes more than 10 minutes, the substrate absorbency is low. If there are any cracks or holes in the surface, they can be easily and quickly repaired with Ceresit RS88. The repair mortar is able to fill holes of up to 10 centimeters depth and hardens quickly. To prepare the mortar, mix the product with the required amount of water and stir it about 2 minutes until it's free of lumps. Fill the mortar into the hole using a suitable trowel, then smooth out the surface. Done! Longer cracks in the substrate require a bit more attention. Repairs are usually done using the method of stitching. First, make sure to wear protective glasses and a dust mask. Now take a hand grinder and deepen the crack along its entire length until the crack depth is 2/3 of the screed layer thickness. Next, produce cross cuts at intervals of approximately 30 to 40 centimeters. These cross cuts will later be filled with screed anchors for reinforcement. Now it's time for cleaning up. Vacuum off the dust produced by grinding with the help of an industrial vacuum cleaner. To ensure a powerful bond and high-strength filling of the crack, use the solvent-free flow epoxy resin Ceresit R727. R727 consists of two components, resin and hardener, that need to be mixed before use. First, open the upper part of the can, which contains the hardener, and take it off. Then open the lower part that contains the resin. Place the hardener upside down on the resin container and empty the entire content into the resin container. In the next step, place so-called screen anchors into the crosscuts. These are stainless steel bars used for the stitch bonding of screed cracks. Now it's time for Ceresit R727. Remove the upper container and mix the two components thoroughly for at least 1 minute. To facilitate the pouring process, slightly squeeze the container. Then tip the can and carefully pour the mixture into the cracks. Continue until all cracks have been completely filled. Finally, smooth the resin over with a small trowel or spatula. Then sprinkle a generous amount of dry quartz sand on top until the cracks are completely covered. The resin must still be fresh, so don't interrupt work at this stage. The sand, for example, Ceresit QS10 sprinkling sand, should have a grain size between 0.4 and 0.8 millimeters. This process ensures that the later applied leveling compound or adhesive will have better adhesion to the substrate. Allow the resin to harden for 1 hour and then remove any excess sand. You can either use a broom or a vacuum cleaner. The crack repair is now complete.